Alright, what's up guys, and welcome to day 2 of the $600 tournament here in Toledo. I have about 10 minutes until day 2 starts, so we don't even talk too much and we see each other at the tables. 209 players return to day 2, and with 715k we have a little bit over average stack, which is 631k, so definitely a good spot we're in here. And we jump right into the first hand where under the gun opens to 35k. We call pocket fours from under the gun +1, and the small blind and big blind call both as well. The flop is queen 9 deuce with 2 clubs, and the pre-flop aggressor checks to me, and with pocket fours here I definitely take a free card, and we see a magical 4 of hearts and all 3 players check to me again. It's time to build a pot and get value from 9x, open enders, or even top pairs with a lower kicker that check the board twice out of position, so I decide to bet 67k. To my surprise, the small blind doesn't call, he instead jams his whole stack for 327k. Both other players fold and we obviously snap call. He reveals ace-9 offsuit and he's just dead on the turn, and we scoop a decent pot early on, literally the perfect start to day 2. We now have over 1 million in chips, and this hand is just a perfect example of what you have to do when you have a big stack. I open 3-5 suited from the cutoff and only the big blind defense. We see bet on an ace-high board and take it down. These small pots, especially deep in the tournament, are so important because the structure is good with 40 minutes level if I remember correct, but you definitely don't want to blind down and always try to attack and pick your spots wisely. We are at 10k, 25k blinds now, and a good player with an even bigger stack than me opens, and we defend ace-7 of hearts from the big blind. The flop is 4, 6, 8 with 2 diamonds and 1 spade. I could lead on this specific board because this will interact perfect with my big blind defending range, but I decide to check to him and maybe check raise on a board like that, but he knows that this is a better range for me, so he decides to check back. The turn is the 5 of spades, so we immediately get there, and now there are 2 flush draws available. I check again because I want him to bet with all of his flush draws and 2 overs and then check raise again, but he checks back again. The river is the 3 of hearts and we now have to go for value, and I decide to bet 125k. The player is good enough to know that I also have enough missed flush draws, so after some time he actually sticks it in and we win with our hidden straight. In the next hand, under the gun opens to 50k in the same blind level, and we call king 4 suited on the button and the big blind defense as well, and we go to a flop of queen jack 8 with 2 hearts. It gets checked to me and I just take a free card here with king high without the heart. The turn is the 10 of hearts and both players check again to me. I could check back and realize my equity here with a double gut shot, but I think both opponents are not that strong, so I decide to bet 55k and only the big blind decides to call. The river is the ace of hearts, so we indeed get there again. The question now is how much do we want to bet, because we're targeting obviously 2 pairs a lot and only 1 pair hands too. So I think ideal is to bet small here, but in game I decide to bet 125k and the big blind pretty quickly calls with the same straight and we chop this pot. In the next hand we open jack 7 suited from the hijack to 85k at 20k, 40k, and the cutoff jams for 170k. That's not even 4 big blinds, so obviously we stick it in, but we run into jacks and we're drawing very slim. I open ace-10 offsuit from under the gun to 85k again, and only the cutoff makes the call, and we go to a flop of queen 10 3 2 diamonds. Out of position with second pair, best kicker and no diamond, I decided to check, and the cutoff immediately grabs chips and bets 105k. With second pair here it's a no-brainer in my eyes, so we make the call and hope for a good turn card. The turn is the king of spades. It is technically a good one for our specific range, but definitely not a good one for our specific hand. I check again and he now bets 230k. I think I could talk really 2 hours about that hand, what went through my head, but at the end of the day I just didn't believe him. Obviously we only have third pair, but also a gutter to the nuts, so I just don't want to get bluffed by a flush draw with equity, and I also think a random queen just checks back now as well. Yes, jack 9 obviously gets there and king jack makes top pair, but as I said we cannot always give him the strongest hands here, so I decide to call. The river is a total brick with the deuce of hearts, and I obviously check to him and hope he gives up, but after some thought he bets 375k. We are already very deep in the tournament with only 70 players left, and this is definitely a key spot for me here. We are losing to straights like ace jack and jack 9 obviously, and 2 pairs a lot, but I think now he would have even checked back a top pair hand like king jack. I tanked for a very long time and tried to make him feel uncomfortable in game, And I thought I got a pretty strong read that he's very uncomfortable with the situation, so I go with my gut and stick in the call, but we unfortunately lose to king queen. Nice answer. The next hand I really played very poorly in my eyes, so I opened king 10 offsuit from the hijack and only the big blind defense. The flop is 7-9-9 rainbow and the big blind checks to me. With king high here, this is an easy c-bet spot, but I don't know what I did, but I decided to check back in this spot. The turn is the jack of spades and now the big blind bets 100k. I decided to stick around with the gutter as well and an overcard, and the river is the 5 of diamonds and he checks to me. It doesn't make any sense here to bluff because I think I get called on very often and I don't think I have that many strong hands, so I decide to check back and the big blind shows jack 6 of spades, so I think my c-bet on the flop would have definitely done the job. After that hand we go totally card dead, defend and open some hands but couldn't hit anything, so we're down to 180k at 25k, 50k. Under the gun +1 jams for around 9 big blinds. And we have a little bit less than 4 big blinds now, and with ace-7 off, I don't think it's a spot you have to take, but I'm going for it, and we unfortunately run into pocket 7s, and let's go to a runout. We again unfortunately blind down to 200k. The same player I won against with ace-7 offsuit jams again. We obviously call again for less with pocket aces, and then it gets folded to the big blind. And he surprisingly calls as well with ace-queen offsuit, and we're in amazing shape to triple up here. The player who jammed in first instance shows king-jack, flops an open ender on the flop, but it runs out brick, and we scoop this massive pot and triple up, and we have a playable stack again. Let's go. In the next hand I opened jack 10 suited from under the gun +1 to 100k and only the big blind defense with a very big stack, and we go to a flop of jack 6 3 2 clubs. I couldn't have hoped for a better flop here with top pair and a flush draw, so I decide to bet 85k. The big blind thinks for a bit and decides to come along, and we see the queen of clubs on the turn. We immediately get there and he checks again to me. I just want to play my hand as a trap here and just represent a jack, so I decide to check back. The river is the king of diamonds then, and the big blind takes the bait and bets 140k. Obviously I tank for a little bit and then jam for 470k and pray for a call, but I think the big blind was bluffing and folds, so I think the turn jack made him bet on the river. And obviously we pick up another decent sized pot. Alright guys, little mid-session update. We're at the break at the moment. I have 1.1 million. Lots of swings. I'm a little bit mad. I don't want to start cussing you right now, but I'm a little bit mad about the ace-10 offsuit hand. So sticky, but I just didn't believe him at all. And then yeah, got lucky ace-7 off against 7s, and then obviously a dream spot with aces. Yeah, we will see. Coming back to 20 bigs, 18, 19 bigs, and then we will see. In the next hand we play 9-4 of diamonds in the big blind and gets folded all the way to the small blind, and he makes it 165k, 35k, 70k. He's just giving me a way too good price to defend 9-4 of diamonds here, and the flop is jack 8-4, 2 hearts, and the small blind checks to me. I think in this spot when he checks he has a lot of king highs and ace highs. You can go either way to check back or bet, but I want to protect my hand here, so I bet small for 75k. The small blind doesn't let go of his hand yet and decides to call, and the turn is the queen of diamonds. The small blind checks again, and at this point I just want to get to showdown, because after another overcard I'm kind of in no man's land here, and the river is the 6 of diamonds. The small blind checks again and I snap check back, and we lose to 8 deuce of diamonds surprisingly. In the next hand he gets folded to me on the button with queen 10 of hearts, and with a little bit less than 10 big blinds this is a pure jam, so I raise to 650k at 35k, 70k and leave a little bit behind. The big blind wakes up with the hand and jams, and I call for my remaining 85k, and we go to a runout where we need to hit, because he has ace king.
Payout table 1.
GG's.
2020 for you.
Mm-hmm.
There, 2020. There is a box for your dealers. Thank you.
Alright guys, that's it for this one. Cashed out for around $3,000 because you got a min cash of $1,000 after you made day 2, and then I cashed for $2K and $20. So yeah, I mean 10 big blinds, queen 10 suited on the button. It's just standard, you know, and the big blind wakes up a big stack with the ace king off and we cannot hit. So yeah, that's just the beauty of the game, I guess. But still happy with the run, to be honest. And yeah, I guess we will see us in the next one. If you liked the video, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and follow my channel to always stay updated.